Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Meet the RSSG family. Today we have a bit of a weird one because it's my own interview. So we have Karsa back from episode 1 who will be interviewing me. Normally, I would ask the person I'm interviewing for an introduction, but since I'm the interviewee, my name is Bailez115. 115 is my birthday. That's 115, not 11.5. My best friend wishes me a birthday every year on November 5th, despite the fact that he knows better, because he thinks he's funny. He is funny, I'll give him that. Amazing Grace, thank you for the subscription. For those who are watching this on YouTube, I am actually doing this live on stream. This is because this is the face reveal stream, so I thought what better time to do my own interview. So, Karsa, if you would like to start up with the questions, we'll get to getting.
Right. So I'm going to stick kind of with the ones that you gave me, but I might switch it a little bit
That's
just to give you
great,
give.
because just so everybody knows, I give all of my interviewees the list of questions. This is one where I'm not getting that list of questions beforehand, so be surprised if
Nope.
I don't have an answer for something.
Well, that's the way things happen, right?
Amazing Grace, thank you so much for the comments. I appreciate compliments. I appreciate that very much.
All right. So this will probably go a little bit longer, unfortunately, probably because there'll be some time when you need to talk. Anyway, one question you asked me in the first one was if I was a villain, what would be my origin story? What is your origin story that got you into gaming?
Absolutely. Great question. And I've always wanted to tell this story. For those of you who don't know, at 8 years old, I moved in to live with my dad. My parents split up when I was young. And who became my stepmom, she eventually adopted me, and she is just my mom. Unless I have to explain the difference between the two, she will always just be my mom. She showed me so much love. I never had the right to expect so much as a kid from somebody who wasn't my blood relative. But when I first moved in with her, she was so good at RPGs. That was her favorite thing. And one day she's playing Breath of Fire 3 and she's like, "Do you want to play?" And I'm like, "How do I play?" And she goes, "Well, I don't like to fish, so why don't you fish for me?" And I was like so excited because like an adult was asking me for help in a video game. Wow, that's amazing. And so I every time she wanted to go fishing, like I would probably destroy half of her fishing lures because I was so bad at fishing and she just let me do it because that's the love of a parent. Um, yeah, that's my origin story was fishing in Breath of Fire 3, and then when we got a PS2, they gave me the PlayStation 1, and I tried Legend of Dragoon, Final Fantasy 7, Breath of Fire. Like I went nuts with RPGs, so that's where I started.
Your mother sounds kind of like me with my daughter.
She was an amazing woman. I miss her a lot sometimes, all the time, but sometimes more than others.
I understand that. Yeah. So what kind of games do you play?
Well, that has never changed. Like I'm still into RPGs. Sorry guys, I'm not used to wearing makeup. Making me a little itchy. I still play RPGs. McDonald's. In case anybody's wondering, it's a Diet Coke. I also play strategy RPGs
Hold
like Fire
on.
Emblem.
There
Go
is
ahead.
a commercial.
Commercial. That's okay, right? Yeah, I'm recording straight through Streamlabs, so if they don't get to see the answers, that's okay. They can watch the YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Um,
Sorry.
I also play like farming sim games. So,
Mhm.
Karsa, if you use your Twitch Prime, if you had it, I'm only kidding. But yeah, I still play RPGs. I still
During
play
next month,
strategy
I will.
RPGs. I play a lot of variety of games, but nothing too seriously. Like today, we're playing Legends of Runeterra, which is a card game, but it's kind of the only one I play. And I still play League of Legends despite my better judgment. Yeah, so there's that one for you.
Alrighty then. So, what does gaming truly mean to you
Gaming
right
is
now?
always so I'm a disabled person with a lot of
Hmm.
physical problems and mental problems, and gaming, like when I was a kid, was such a way to pass time, and now it's just an escape from the problems that I'm having in reality. And so when I decided to become a streamer to add on to that, like it was my way to connect with the community and build something I could be proud of where everybody was allowed to be themselves. So that's what it is to me now, is a way to connect with other people who are like me and sometimes not even like me. but it's just my way to connect with others.
Yet you chose to use a character that I had created for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Um, and now you're showing your true self.
Hmm.
Do you want to share with us why you did that?
Um, that's a really good question. So June is Pride Month, and for people who've like always wondered like why is June Pride Month, it has to do with the Stonewall riots, which were a period. It was an event where like police were literally dragging LGBT people out of bars and beating them in the streets. Different time, guys, totally different time. Um, but it was the first time the LGBT movement stepped up and fought back, and it's what led. Dudar, thank you so much for the gifted subscription to Carson. Now you don't have to see ads. Thank you so
You
much.
so much.
Um, but it was the first step towards the movement of equality and trying to find our place within society. And that's why we do this in June. Well, with June being Pride Month, Dudar had made it happen for this face reveal. I always wanted to do one, but Dudar made it happen. And I picked June because I am such a proud transgender person. Like, I never hide the fact that I'm transgender. It's part of who I am, and I want people to be able to go, actually, I know this transgender person, and the things you're saying about that community, they're just not representative of who she is. So I want to be the best example that I can be. And Pride Month isn't just like, oh, I'm proud of being transgender. It's I'm proud of everything about me. Now, I will still continue to hide behind an avatar, but it has a lot to do with like when you have a lot of mental illnesses and physical ailments, it's hard to be at 100% every single day. So, streaming with an avatar means I don't have to put a bunch of makeup on, I don't have to do my hair up fancy, I don't have to wear this pretty dress. Like, I can wear shorts and a t shirt, and it's fine. I don't have to put a bra on. Like, those are things that are important when you have a lot of mental issues.
And
So,
when you're in pain, if your
exactly.
face doesn't show it. Yeah,
Yep.
I gotcha.
And so, but doing it this month was about taking pride in who I am, not just as a transgender individual, as somebody with mental health issues, but like in my own appearance. Now, that sounds kind of funny considering I got my hair and makeup done, but this is the first time I've looked at myself in quite a while and been like, I date me. Like, you know, I haven't felt that in a long time, and it's so good to feel it now and to have that sense of pride in myself.
You
So,
are a very pretty woman.
well, thank you. I wasn't a bad looking guy either, but I much better woman, I'll tell you.
Either way, you are who you are. A
Yes.
soul is a soul. Remember that.
Well, I mean, my soul
Mm.
weighs a little more because I'm like twice the average person, but that's okay.
Eh,
They're
you
gonna
have a
have,
very big heart and a very big soul. There you go.
yeah. The heart is what makes me step on the scale weigh a little more. It's because my heart is so big.
Yeah, that's it. So, this is supposed to be about meeting the RSSG family.
Of course.
Why and how did you join RSSG?
Okay. So before I answer this question, are you gonna ask me about the time I got kicked out later on? Almost got kicked out.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
All right. So the question was, can you repeat the question one more time for me so I don't miss any aspect?
Why and how did you join RSSG? Who decided to
All right.
get you
So
in,
I
first of
don't
all?
I don't remember what Steel City Pro was playing when I found his stream, and we started talking, and I was explaining a little about me, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to join this Discord server?" And of course, I'm going, "Why not? I'm already part of 50 to 60 other servers. I might as well add one more. Who cares?" And so I'm like, "Sure, whatever." And so I did my introduction, and then I didn't touch the group for a while. So
Which got you into trouble.
a little bit, yeah. It was just another Discord server to me at the time, so I was like, "Whatever." Like, and so that kind of leads into what was probably your next question. So I'll let you ask it.
So, when you did get in trouble, what happened?
All right. So we've done a video on Keeps so far, and Keeps is our
Mhm.
administrator. And of
Mhm.
course, I was not doing anything with RSSG because at the time I was like, this is just another Discord server. Just so you know, it's not. It is most certainly not just any other Discord server. It is so, so much more. Keeves messages me and he goes, "Look, you haven't been active in the group, and if you want to get the support that you came in here to get, you need to give support as well." And I was like, "Wait, this group's for real? Like, this isn't just another Discord server?" And so I started to get more active in RSSG. I started popping up in other people's streams, and I was, making commentary. And Keeb shows up in my stream one day, and so I have an average of 3.5 viewers, and I'm definitely putting in the time, and all I need is 50 followers. And Keebs is like, "Why aren't you affiliate?" And I'm like, "Well, I just don't have the followers." And so Keebs is like, "We have to fix that." And so within like a 2-hour period, Keebs got me up to 50 followers. And that was it for me with RSSG. Like, no matter how much I do with RSSG, and I've done a lot to try to get back to RSSG, I never feel like that first moment was with Keebs getting me to affiliate was my realization that like the support I've been getting from this group is actually meaningful, and I owe it so much, so much.
And speaking of which,
Uh huh.
how has RSSG affected you as a streamer?
Uh, taking pride in the community that I've built has always been a thing, but I've never actually been proud of being a part of anything before that. Like, yeah, I'm proud of the community I build, but I'm also more proud of the community that I'm part of with RSSG. I feel like I'm welcomed somewhere on the internet because, like, honestly, streamers create their own atmosphere by the people they allow to be in their streams and don't allow to be in their streams. And so, like, that's my creation. But RSSG was not my creation. It is something I was allowed to be a part of and welcomed into and accepted. And that kind of acceptance is so very, very rare. And, like, I can't even begin to describe what what that means to somebody to have that kind of acceptance. Give me a second.
That's fine.
So that's how it's changed and affected me. Is just feeling a sense of belonging more than just within the atmosphere that I create.
Yes, I would agree with that. RSSG is very much a family. And in that, what is your goals now in RSSG and beyond as a streamer?
So I don't intend to make this a job.
Hmm.
Obviously, like I'm not going to turn down money I get from streaming. Yeah. No,
Right.
no, who would? But um, my only goal with streaming ever was to create a community where people felt welcome to be themselves and protected. Like, we're going to get trolls in this channel. That always is going to happen. But I'm pretty good about making sure that, like, we keep trolling to a limited selection,
Hmm.
unless it's me dropping you in a hole. So that is 100% allowed and expected.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, my only goal with this was to create a positive, supporting environment for myself and my viewers.
And so you make a supportive environment, but you are a troll. You put people
I missed your comment, Carsa. You kind of cut out there. Carsa, I can't hear you at all.
in.
Did you swallow your microphone or something? Or
No, no, I did not.
okay,
I
welcome back.
guess you're not wanting to answer that
I
question,
didn't
are
hear
you?
the question, Carsa.
You are a troll. So, as a troll, you like to throw people into holes and stuff like that. But
Mainly just you.
has yeah, oh, just me. Why
Mhm.
me?
I don't know. It's just your thing. You like falling in holes. Far be it from me
Uh,
to deny you that chance.
I don't like falling in holes. It's just become a thing that's happened, every single game. Even in Stardew, I have fallen in a hole.
Wait, how did you? Oh yeah, because of that. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
You know why.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the next question?
Okay. So, let's see here. Question with this in mind, you literally got into the funny and awkward part of, mine.
Uh
So
huh.
what is your funny and awkward story that you would like to share? And it doesn't matter what it is, just that it's funny or awkward. And you could do more than one if you like.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do two here. Um, I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to hear the story of my first job, or do you want to hear a drunk story? Which one would you like to hear first?
We'll go with the drunk story, and that
Yeah,
will do the job.
absolutely. So I had a good friend, Cassandra. I was a tutor for her in college, and honestly, like, she was not an unintelligent person. Nobody had ever taught her how to study. And once I taught her how to study, she was getting better grades than me. So she hit hard times, hit bad luck in her life, ended up with the wrong crowd after I moved to Iowa from Pennsylvania. And she was like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, move in with me. Like, we'll figure something out. So I turned her life around. Hi, Keeps. Good to see you. Happy to see you in the stream. So anyway, I moved Cass out there to live
Hi.
with me. I had a 1,200 square foot apartment I was paying $450 a month for. That included parking and all utilities except electric. But yeah, one night she's like, we've got her out of the partying scene, but she still considered herself a bit of a party girl. And she's like, so I think I can match you drink for drink. And I'm like, you can't. She's like, no, I definitely can match you drink for drink. And I'm like, I'm 350 pounds, you're 140 pounds soaking wet. What do you mean you can match me drink for drink? So what I did was I put on Fable, which is a video game, and every time I decapitated a target with a bow, we had to take a shot. And over a 2 hour period, that was about 14 or 15 shots.
Oh,
And so we decided that that was enough of that game, and we put on a movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Love the movie, think it's underrated. And about halfway through, she gets up and goes to the bathroom. She's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And so it's about a half hour in, and I'm like, where's Cass? So I walk into the bathroom. Oh, Keeps, I've never been drunk in my life, and that's not an elaboration. Like I don't know how to get drunk. I haven't experienced that. So yeah, that many drinks in a small amount of time was not enough to even phase me. I wasn't even tipsy. So I walk into the bathroom to check on her. The apartment only has one bathroom. And I open the door, and there she is, passed out on the toilet, which she's knocked over and vomited all over the bathroom, and she's naked. So I sighed. I'm a CNA, so I have a little bit of medical training. And that medical training is everything I need to know to lift her up off of the floor with a gate belt, pull her clothes back up one handed, and drag her to the couch. And then I put her on her side and called for an ambulance because I wanted to have them come take a look at her, make sure she wasn't going to die. And she still has not had a single drink of Fireball since that day. She will not touch Fireball. And I can't imagine what vomiting up Fireball feels like because the sick bird's going down. I can't imagine it coming out of your nose.
oh man.
So yeah, that's the one story. And the second one comes from my very first job. Not technically my first job, but the first serious job I had. I worked for McDonald's for 18 months, and I started out on the grill. And I won't get into too many details about, like, just know that I was really good at what I did on the grill. Good enough that they kept me there for 12 months and didn't send me anywhere else. Then they started cross training me. They taught me drive through, they taught me front counter, found out I was just as good at both of those as I was on the grill. I'm just one of those all around good at everything people because I love what I do and I take pride in it and I work really hard. And so I learned everything. Opening, closing, managerial paperwork, accepting trucks, everything I could learn, I did. I was even their go-to for somebody who had to clean the vomit up out of the bathroom, which is why I was not bad as a CNA because I didn't care about that stuff. And a year and a half in, I had not had a review yet, and I was like, I'm due for a review. Can we get the review? And when we do, I need to move from making $7.75 an hour to $8 an hour. I was asking for 1/4 an hour, which is not much. That's $7.50 a week because I was only working 30 hours. They wouldn't allow you to push to 32, or they had to pay you benefits.
Right.
$7.50 a week. It still blows my mind. I get to my review, and knowing the kind of employee I am and how loved I am by my managers, when she tells me that I meet expectations, my jaw hit the floor. That I'm not the world's most ego person. I do have a bit of an ego, but I know damn well I more than exceeded expectations at that job. And then she hit me with, all I could get you was 15 cents raise. And I said, that's not going to work. And she said, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "Well, I asked for a quarter." She goes, "Well, all I can get you is 15 cents." And I said, "Then you're going to have to accept my 2 weeks notice." And she goes, "You're going to quit a job over 10 cents an hour?" And I looked at her and I said, "No, you're going to lose a key employee over 10 cents an hour." And so as I walked out of the interview, she said, "That's fine. I'll take your 2 weeks notice, but you're not going to find a better job than us. Nobody's going to hire you." So I hit the ground running looking for jobs. Like as soon as I ended my shift, I went out for to submit applications. Hi, Mystical Tempest. Good to see you.
Hello.
Yeah,
Welcome.
she tried to hardball me for 10 cents keeps. And I got a job. I got an interview at a gas station on the East Coast called Cheats. And they were paying $12 an hour to work the overnight. And Cheats is kind of like this gas station that is half gas station, half restaurant. Everything is made to order from an order point system. And they have everything from pizzas to subs to hot dogs. Like, I love Sheets. And so I went in and I told her, "Hey, just so you know, not only did I get a job within this short period, they're also going to pay me much, much more than you are." And I told them my starting wage. And she said, "That's fine. But remember that when you leave, you have to give me your hat and pins." Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a pin collector. So when she asked for my pins, which were rewards for employees for doing exemplary things, she was asking for like 30 to 40 pins from me that were rightfully mine. But she told me if I didn't give her the pins back, and I was naive enough to believe her, that she would take it out of my last paycheck. So on the night before my last shift, I made Jello, and then I used these the string you clean your teeth with, Carsa, floss. I used floss to suspend them in the Jello, and then I let it
Yeah.
sit overnight. And then what I did was the next day I went in for my shift, and then when my shift is over, I looked at my manager. I said, "Hey, I gotta run home. I'm gonna grab my clothes for the job, and then I'm gonna grab the pins and the hat, and I'll bring them back to you." And so I get back to the apartment. I already had my clothes packed up in a bag, and so I turned the pin Jello over onto a plate, and I got into the restaurant. I handed her the clothes, and then I turned the pin Jello, or put the plate with the pin Jello onto the desk. And then I looked at her and I said, "Here are your fucking pins. Have a good day." And I walked out. Well, I became a fucking legend at that place after I left because of that. And you know, I loved my job at McDonald's. I loved what I did. I took pride in it. And I advise people to work at McDonald's for an early job because it's good for you. And the biggest takeaway from that job that I think I can pass on to people from here, because it is such a funny story to me, especially, is that a job is not inherently bad. People don't quit bad jobs, they quit bad managers. And that was a case of my manager was awful and I left a job I loved because of it. So I hope like that's a piece of advice somebody can take and run with, especially if your daughter gets to see this video. Like I know you were talking about that. Like if she ever gets a
Yeah,
job,
she just got the job at McDonald's.
well,
No,
congratulate her for me. And please pass that advice on to her that it's not the job if it doesn't work out there, it's just the management system.
of course, of course.
So yeah,
I will
there.
actually let her see this one.
Okay.
Yes, because you are going to be playing with her next year. Haha.
Yeah.
um, so we're still working on funny and awkward. Let's talk about your Shaggy impression.
Oh, we want to hear my Shaggy impression?
I
Uh,
definitely want to hear your Shaggy impression.
okay. Here we go. My face gets kind of goofy when I do it, so enjoy this, guys. Like Zoink Scoob! Like, would you do it for two Scooby snacks? Good, bad, in between? Like, yeah.
It's very good. I
Oh, thank
liked
you.
it. Yeah. Now we're gonna get into something serious
Okay, so
because
put my serious face.
when we first met,
Mm-hmm.
you asked me to make your character,
Yes.
and I told you I would do it, but only if you helped me out with the lymphedema
Keeps, thank you so much for
charity
the
event.
bits.
And do you remember what happened with that?
With the charity event? Or
And,
what?
and everything that happened.
You're
Because
gonna
I
have.
asked you just for to be part. like a
Yes, you
charity
you
event.
asked me to help with the charity event a little.
And you just decided, I'm going to write a book.
Well, that's part of it. There was more to it. Basically,
Yeah.
like, Carsa was giving me my online identity with my avatar. People recognize me through my avatar. They'll be able to see, like, if you get clips from this. By the way, anybody watching, feel free to clip anything in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Anytime.
but my avatar represents me, and my wings on the avatar were something I really wanted, but we couldn't do that with my base avatar. And quite frankly, my new one is much prettier anyway. Mystical Tempest, thank you so much for the bits. Both Keebs and Mystical Tempest, welcome to the Itty Bitty Gritty Committee. Um, so I wanted to give Karsa back. Like, I don't think Karsa will ever know how much she gave to me by doing my avatar the way that she did. And so I was like, okay, so here's the thing. We're going to make this book, and I am still writing it. Don't anybody think I've abandoned it. Um, Changing up my sleep schedule recently and the move have really messed up, like, my upload,
Everything. Yeah.
but we will be back on track before you know it. And so we will finish it up, and we have a great idea lined up for next year too. It's a totally different project. Yes, Mystical, I'm writing a book. If you PM me, I will send you the link. Um, it's basically like anyway. I'm not going to get into the topic, but we're writing a book with it, and it's free to read. Anybody can read it. It will always be free, and I wanted to do just something to make it much better. And basic just was it was going to be a 5-chapter book. Introduction, and for a chapter for each of the people, and then a 5th chapter that was the conclusion. And I said anybody that donated $50 or more could claim a chapter of their own and be inserted into the book. And we raised $500, and so I think I had to
Over
write like over
$500.
500. Yeah, we had to add like in 4 or 5 more chapters, so it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And so there's a
That's why
lot to
it's
be written.
taking a while.
hmm Well, originally I was going to do this cheap project where I wrote like a basic story, and then I scrapped the whole darn thing. And
Hmm.
each chapter is turning out to be 25 to 30 pages, so it's kind of insane.
Hmm.
Um, but yes, like, I'm very passionate about raising money for charity. It is important
It
to me to
is.
give back to the world because so much has been given to me in a world that very easily could have just turned its back on me.
Hmm.
So, serious question answered, I hope.
Yeah, and the other reason, and I'm not sure if you want to bring this up, but we
Well,
both have
yeah,
lymphedema.
sort of on the ironic side of things. She asks me to help with her lymphedema drive, and then like a week and a half later, I got diagnosed with lymphedema. So it's kind of ironic, kind of sucks, but at least I understand like what I'm raising money for. You know, that helps a lot
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So, and I thank you again and again and again for helping you and Keeps for helping. I mean, without it, there are so many people who don't even know what lymphedema is.
hmm
And I don't even know if you did before you met me.
Vaguely, I worked with residents that had lymphedema, but I didn't know too much about it. Um,
Yeah.
Raising awareness for anything is important. I lived 19 years of my life as
Hmm.
somebody that I wasn't because I didn't know people like me existed. And so, education on everything that you can be educated on, especially, I don't want to say illnesses and disorders because being transgender really isn't an illness, but it's kind of a mental thing, disorder, kind of, but not really. It's complicated. I did write a book and publish it on that subject. So,
Yes, you did. And I
um,
read it.
yes, I give it out to free to anybody who asks. It is Amazon and it's 99 cents if you wish to purchase it, but not
She's not
sponsored.
really doing it for
No,
that.
not doing it for the money. I wanted Amazon to give it out for free and I tried to talk them into it and they told me no. So I will give it to anybody who asks for free in a PDF format. But yeah, like I just want people to be educated on things. Like I want people to know. I don't want somebody to turn 18 and finally hear like the word transgender or lymphedema for the first time. Like I want them to know these are things that they may end up having, and I want them to be aware of it.
So, again, I thank you for that. And I also thank you for this opportunity. Is there anything else you would like to bring up for the rest, for what you'd like people to know about your streak?
Hmm. Obviously, we don't shy away from talking about any subject. Like that's important. Um,
Well, I'm more wholesome than you, but
You are definitely more wholesome than me. I like to think I'm a little funnier because I'm not afraid to
you are
cross
definitely.
boundaries.
I forgot to ask that.
Yes,
You were a comic at one time.
I was.
You
Yes, yes.
and do you feel you had with that experience, you brought something more to your stream?
Um, it helped with the public speaking portion of things. I'm not afraid of making mistakes. You obviously make a mistake first off, doing stand-up comedy and expecting to be any kind of successful is a mistake to begin with. I think you have a lower chance of wanting to be a successful stand-up comedian than you do somebody trying to make it to the NFL at this point. Like, how many successful stand-ups do you know? Just saying. Um, but yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence, certainly. I tell a lot of off-color jokes. What is my favorite joke?
What
All
is your
right,
favorite?
all right. It's a story joke. You have to keep in mind that one of these endings is one that I heard, and one of them is one that I made up. And now that it's been over a decade, I don't remember which is which. God, my nose is itching. Makeup is so bad. Um, so a man walks into a bar for the first time, sits down at the bar, and orders a drink. And all of a sudden, one of the guys sitting at the tables shouts out the number 13, and everybody starts laughing. And he looks at the guy next to him, and he's like, "What's so funny about 13?" And he said, "Well, since you've never been here before, you don't know that. But the three guys sitting at their table, they're stand-up comedians, and they've told their jokes so many times that they just number their jokes at this point, and instead of telling them, they just shout out a number." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And so he's sitting there sipping his drink, and about 5 minutes later, the second guy goes, 71, and everybody starts laughing. Guy's starting to think, maybe this wasn't too bad. And so then the third guy stands up and he goes, 52, and nobody laughs. He looks at the guy next to him and goes, "Wasn't 52 funny?" He goes, "Well, 52's funny enough, all right, but just not the way he tells it." And so that's one of the endings. And so the other ending is the man sitting down for a while thinking about the three comedians, and he decides, what the hell? Like, if these three comedians can do it, I can do it too. And so he stands up and he goes, 171. And everybody in the bar starts laughing. People are like falling out of their chairs, tears running down their cheeks. They just think he can't understand why everybody's laughing so hard. So he says to the man next to him, "What's so funny about that one?" And he goes, "Man, that's just so funny because they've never heard that one before." So that's my favorite joke.
I wondered why it wasn't 69.
Why it wasn't 69. Right, that's fair. But that is my favorite joke.
Okay, all right. So we're at the end of this interview. Is
Yeah.
there absolutely anything else you'd like to share?
Well, I like to close out here with we had an interview with the newest member of RPG, Tenable Target, and
Hmm.
my computer was running out of space, so I decided to move my streaming folder over to my D drive, which was something like 40 gigabytes of space. So my streaming folder was quite big. And I say was intentionally. I did not verify that everything moved over to the D drive appropriately, and most of it did not. So I lost a bunch of streaming resources and the interview with Tenable Target. So I'm going to have to redo Tenable's interview. And I feel really badly about that because it takes away some of the authenticity of an interview, being that it won't be the first time. So
Oh
be prepared for whenever
no.
I get around to getting one ahead on Tenable again, and I'm very sorry for that happening. But I am human; things happen. More importantly, we can still fix this, so not a big
Oh
issue.
yeah, he'll be fine with it. You'll just have to find him on a time when he can do it because he has a life.
And it is important that we stop soon because I'm almost at Keebs' length, and I don't want to steal
Actually,
his thunder.
this was the last question.
Yeah,
So
no, I
thank you
know.
for your time and thank you for the interview and sharing who you truly are.
I thank you for
Um,
taking the time to interview me.
you're welcome. I